Welcome to the Pretty Confident Podcast, where we embrace authenticity, own our worth, and build unshakable confidence. I'm your host, Sierra Renee, so let's dive in. What's up, you guys, and welcome to the first episode of 2026. I cannot believe, well, yes, I can. I can't believe that we've made it here. I find so much joy, so much appreciation, so much gratitude, and being able to do this podcast week by week. I know at the tail end of 2025, it was very difficult. I had a lot of stuff going on. If you know, you know. But if you are an OG or a returning listener, thank you so much for being here and continuing to stay consistent and just, tagging along on this journey of mine. And hopefully kind of got motivated to start a confidence journey of your own. And if this is your first time here, thank you so much for giving me your time and dedication. If you stayed to the duration of the, video and episode, or if you're listening to this on audio platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, or iHeartRadio, thank you so much for giving me your time, regardless of if it's just in the background, just filling up some air, filling up, the silence. I appreciate you for selecting my podcast, okay, to be your background music. But no, you guys, I told you all in the last episode that we are doing 2026 differently, okay, than how we did 2025. And when I say that, I mean by our goals, our visions, what we want to accomplish. And y'all know what I say. If you are a returning listener or an OG, if you are not working towards anything, you are not actively trying to become better. Yes, you can go through life experiences. Yes, different things and different seasons and different people can change you for the better. But if you're not situationally aware, emotionally aware, personally aware of what's going on in your own life and where you want to go next, you may not know if you are getting better or if you are getting worse, okay? Because it can go both ways. But to me, establishing confidence, sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. Pregnancy, I'm breathing for two. But and for me, establishing confidence just means having a track record of what you've accomplished and what you are trying to accomplish next and actively working towards that. Whether it's, the end goal may look different because you went along the track and, just the end goal looked different than what you initially imagined it would look or what you thought it would be. But if you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine. Maybe this is not the community for you, but we are a community of people that like to work what we want, and we're not just waiting for it to happen for us or to us. So last year we did, or I did, because I told you guys can do whatever, fits for you. So you can still do that this year, but I just know that I am doing it differently this year. So last year I did a bingo board, which was the first year that I did a bingo board. And at the end of every month, we talked about what we accomplished, or I talked about what I accomplished in that month of what I wanted to accomplish, because I always set the expectation of what I want to accomplish at the beginning of the month. And then at the end of the month, I just kind of recap on if I accomplished that, if I just worked towards it a little bit, or did the whole entire goal change in its entirety? Did I come out of a season where I no longer wanted to accomplish that goal and found a different goal that I wanted to accomplish? I accomplished so much that I didn't even have on my bingo board. Getting engaged, getting married, because I did get legally married, getting pregnant. Now I'm expecting. My baby is supposed to be here this year, so I'm super happy. And then buying a house. So there was just a lot of stuff that I accomplished outside of my bingo board, which is perfectly okay. If it's not on your bingo board, it's not saying that you can't accomplish it. Some things are out of reach or out of scope unless you are looking for it or unless it just happens. So yeah, this year, I really want to focus on actively working towards something every single day or every week. And so I'm doing a quarterly plan this year. I kind of was, I don't want to say upset with myself, but it is completely human to be upset with yourself if you're not accomplishing any and everything that you say you wanted to accomplish in a specific year. Because at the beginning of the year I was like, okay, all of these are realistic to me and I feel like I can accomplish all of this by the end of the year. There were several boxes that were not checked, and that's perfectly okay. Don't always focus on the negative. Don't focus on the things that you didn't accomplish, but why didn't you accomplish it? What was the leading factor, the cause of why you couldn't accomplish that? Or did you work towards it, but you didn't complete it in 2025? And if it matters enough to you, is that something that you want to bring into the following year? So, the bingo board, was great because I was able to see what I wanted to accomplish, but I really want to see on a what ant size level, what do I want to do to accomplish this goal? Like, what am I actively going to work on and accomplish day by day, week by week to have this goal marked off at the end of the year, right? So, in today's episode, we are going to do kind of like my 2026 goals, right? And break it down into quarters because quarter by quarter, month by month, week by week, day by day, I am going to be trying to accomplish something or actively move the needle forward. Is the forward, like, is it forward this way? Like, because I don't know, I may be going this way and that may be backwards, to y'all because I'm recording, but forward is this way to me. So it may be forward this way for y'all. Anyway, but how am I going to move the needle forward to make sure that I am actively working towards the goal that I say I wanted to achieve? And is this something that I can actually achieve by working towards it every day? Or is this something that I need to break down into even smaller, manageable steps to be able to achieve this goal by the end of the year, right? And so that's what I want to focus this first episode on. I really wanted this to be the first episode we talked about because if you want to follow along with me, whether you make your own, quarterly goals or you just want to see, what I say I want to accomplish and then see at the end of the year, did she actually say or did she actually accomplish what she said she wanted to accomplish? It is completely up to you. But I do say this, I do want to say this. Whether you do this quarterly goal, with week by week action, day by day action, or if you do a vision board, prayer board, bingo board, I feel like almost every year something else or a different method of achieving goals is kind of just bestowed on the internet. And so you can use a wide variety of whatever you think works for you. You can use all the boards to your advantage, right? Like you can have a vision board. This is what I want my life to look like. Okay, break it down on the bingo board. What are the things that are on that vision board that I want to accomplish? What are the specific goals that I want to accomplish? Start marking them out as you accomplish it. Okay, now I'm going to create a prayer board so that I can pray over my goals, right? And then is this something that the prayer manifested or the prayer came true or the prayer became reality for me? And then do the quarterly thing. Okay, this is my vision. These are the specific goals that I want to accomplish. These are the prayers that I'm going to pray over my life and over my vision and over my journey throughout the year. And then these are the quarterly goals and the things that I'm going to do on a day-to-day, week by week, month by month basis to accomplish that, to make sure my prayers come true, to make sure I'm able to accomplish those things on those bingo boards, to make sure that my life at the end of the year looks like what my vision board looks like, right? So you can choose one, you can utilize multiple, or you can do all of it. It just whatever you want to put your time and energy into, because all of them are going to take time, right? Like if you're just slapping stuff together, you are not being serious. Sorry to say it, all things are not easy, especially when it comes out to planning out your life, especially when we're planning in years. Downsizing, because it's so easy to say, oh, this year, we always think we have more time than we actually do. Oh, this year I want to accomplish all these things. Okay, well, what does it look like on a smaller scale? Okay, what does it look like in month one? What do you do to work towards that goal in month one? Right? What do you do to work towards that goal in month two? What do you do to, like, and so on and so forth? So I feel like when you take the time, you take the, energy, time, mental break, mental capacity to just put that towards what you're planning to do, it is going to look so much better. And I don't want to say it's going to be so much easier, but I'm just going to feel like, I feel like when I set time aside for a specific thing, all I need to worry about in that moment is what I set that time aside to do. When you're trying to do and manage so much so with so little time, it can feel rushed. It can feel like, oh, well, this may not be for me because I feel like at the time I was just rushing. I was just writing anything down. I don't want you to just write anything down. I want you to make sure these are things that you want to accomplish. Okay. And I want you to actively write down, get a planner, get an agenda, something. That way you can write it down, because if it's just in your head, you don't have a plan, you don't have a call to action, you don't have anything like any further thought into it, is just a thought, it's just a dream, it's just a wish. But when you write it down, that's when it becomes a plan. When you start to put your words or start to put action behind your words, now it's a call to action. Now you're actively trying to accomplish what you said you wanted to do. Now it's just a goal and you are actively working towards it. So that is what we're going to talk about in today's episode. I am kind of tired. I was just telling my husband that I was like, should I go ahead and record an episode? I do need to. I do need to, because I've been waiting into the last minute just because everything has been so up in the air all over the place. And so when I'm like, oh snap, it's about to be Tuesday already, which Tuesday is the golden day for me because that's when a new week hits for me and my pregnancy. So on Tuesday of every week, it's a new week for me. So I'm about to be 23 weeks when this episode drops. So it's like that's what I'm thinking about. That's when I'm like tracking my pregnancy. I'm like reading the tips and tricks and just, information that it gives me. And then by the time the next day comes around, I'm like, oh snap, it's Tuesday, and now I'm recording an episode at 6 o'clock in the morning, trying to get it out to you all by 8 a.m. So I was so proud of myself when I first started doing visual, because I was on track, I was staying consistent, but I have really dropped the ball in the third or fourth quarter of 2025, and I need to pick that ball up and get back running and rolling with it. Now when I do give birth, I know I'm going to have a break unless I have enough episodes recorded in advance and have them all scheduled to post, because that's what I'm trying to get back to, right? Like I had like 2-3 weeks recorded, edited, and scheduled to post before I moved. But with all the movement, with everything changing, with the dogs, acting out, all of the things, it has just kind of pushed me back. And so I've been trying to, I've just been playing catch up. And I really want to get back up on my life, because I feel like when my life is together, I am ahead on everything. I know that certain things have already been completed because I put the time in to complete it ahead of time. Like that's how I am with all things. Even when I was in school, I would write out all of my class assignments, the due date for every single class. And then anytime I found myself sitting down, I'm not saying that you can't rest, but anytime that I found myself with extra time where I was like, oh, what could I do right now? Oh, I'm bored because I'm resting, but at the same time, I'm just not doing anything and I've already rested enough. What could I be doing? My homework. So I would go to the wall, see what's due next, or see what I can do or what I have the mental capacity to complete. And I would just do stuff and take it off the thing and throw it away. Because as soon as I complete something, I can put it off to the side. I no longer have to think about it. And me and my husband was just talking about that with our priorities and stuff. We have different priorities, which everybody will. It's nothing to be upset about. It's nothing to get angry about. Like, oh, you just don't, like or care about what I care about. That's life. Everybody's not going to care about what you care about. But can you guys understand that you two care about two different things, but that doesn't invalidate somebody else's, thoughts or feelings or emotions towards a certain thing, right? So we literally just talked about that on as far as our baby's room versus mountain TVs, like just priorities in the house. Like there's a lot of stuff I want to do in the house, but I'm just so excited and everything for her arrival that we don't have everything for her room yet, but I'm just like, I just want to get her room together. I don't know, like it just cures my excitement. Not cures it, but it just helps it. And then I know that I'm doing something little every day or little in that moment to kind of like prepare for her. But there's a lot of prep to do. She gets here in 4 months, which is just so insane to say. And my belly bump isn't bumping how I want it to. And watch when it does start bumping, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wanted this. Oh my goodness, I didn't know what I was asking for. But this is my first pregnancy, you guys. So I'm just like so excited to experience everything. Like, I do get tired. I am having round ligament pain at the moment, so it is kind of hard to like walk or stand or do stuff for long periods of times upwards. So yeah, that's a whole thing in and of itself. But anyway, let's get to these 2026 goals. I'm going to break them down how I saw them on TikTok. And when I say TikTok, I mean, I saw this one lady, she kind of brought up the quarterly goal thing, and that's who I started to like follow based off of that. And so we're going to go based off categories, goals for the year by each category, like categories I want to tackle. She didn't go into depth about the categories or whatever, so I just chat GBT'd it and said like, what are the categories for somebody to plan their goals out for the years or for people to focus on. And so they gave me 8, but I chose, let me see, 2, 4, 6, I chose 7, but at the end of the day, one of them wasn't in there, but I kind of condensed it because I feel like most of my goals kind of tie into 2. But you do want to keep it short. You don't want to have a long list. Like, don't choose all 8 because you may not be able to get to all 8. Like, just choose on what you truly want to focus on, your priorities in 2026, and then write accordingly. So you can follow my guide. I'm not going to post this on the podcast or anything. So literally just listen, and I'll kind of like do the sections. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. So the first section for 2026 goals, so the categories that I want to focus on. So number 1 is personal development and motherhood. Number 2 is financials and lifestyle. Number 3 is career and business, and number 4 is content creation. So those are the 4 that I chose. Like I said, some are kind of looped in with the other one just because most of my goals tap into both of them. And I don't want to neglect any of my goals that I truly want to accomplish. Now, there are a lot of things that I am already scheduled to accomplish just because it's already paid for, or it's something that I have to pay off. So, like my wedding ceremony, that's going to happen regardless. So I don't want to put anything that's obviously going to be completed, right? This is something that if I didn't have it already, like if it's not scheduled to be completed, what do I want to accomplish? So goals for the year by category. This is the next section. And I went just 1, 2, 3, 4, and I put under each one what I wanted to accomplish in the entirety of 2026. So in the first category was personal development and motherhood. So, this is going to be big for me. And please don't feel like insecure about your goals. It may seem small to others, but it is big to you. So, this one right here, I didn't have a lot to put under because I feel like I've already accomplished so much personally. But some of these things are going to be ongoing, and some of these things I need to kind of break the habit that I already have. So, number 1 under personal development and motherhood is establish clear boundaries and communicate them. I have a lot of unclear or unsaid boundaries unless it's between me and my husband because I tell him everything. But when it comes to people outside of my household, there will be boundaries there that people don't know about. Okay. And then, I get upset when they cross them, or I get upset that they don't know, like, oh, this is common courtesy, whatever. No, because if it was common courtesy, they wouldn't have crossed the boundary anyway. So, one of the biggest things for me is boundaries, because once you cross it, you're probably X'd out of there. And I am somebody, I will not tell you that there is a boundary there, but as soon as you cross it, I'm either going to treat you differently, handle you differently, speak to you differently, be around you differently, whatever. I'm just going to change my relationship around you based on how you act. Now, if I've clearly stated the boundary and you continuously disrespect the boundary and continuously purposefully, because at this point, my boundary, you keep crossing it, then, at that point I could take whatever measure of, repercussion that I want to instill. So my biggest thing is, establishing the clear boundaries and communicating them to the people so that way they understand what my boundaries are and don't cross them. And if they respect me and respect my boundaries, it won't be an issue to begin with. Now, when I say that, this is very important to me because I'm bringing a new life into the world, and I just know how overwhelming, or yeah, I know how overwhelming my family can be, and that this is the first great grandchild slash grandchild, or grand aunt, I mean grand niece, grand whatever, for a lot of people in my family. So it's just like she's the first, and I already feel suffocated. So I know when I do give birth, I'm going to feel even more suffocated if I don't establish boundaries beforehand and cascade it out so that people understand, okay, Sierra's going to feel a little bit like this. These are her boundaries to keep her level minded and to keep her spirits, even, and to make sure she doesn't trip out on us, because I will trip out. And my husband, he does not care. So he will trip out too. And he probably will trip out before I am, because I get to form a bond with little one because she's in my stomach. He'll feel her sometimes when she is active, because since my placenta is right there in the front on the top, I don't feel her as much, but when I do, it's so nice. So yeah, with the baby especially, definitely want to have clear boundaries and communicate them to people, so that way people are not crossing boundaries. Because if you cross my boundaries, it is a privilege to have her in your life and to see her if and when you want to. If I allow it to be when you want to, it's definitely going to be when I allow you to. So yeah, that privilege can definitely be taken away in a heartbeat because she's not your child. Prepare for motherhood. I'm going to go in depth on each of these goals later on in the quarterly planning. So these are just me, stating what I want, what the goal is in each category. So we have established clear boundaries and communicate them, prepare for motherhood, and then the third one is accept help from others. I am terrible at accepting help from others, and I really do believe is because when I was growing up, my mother would always be like, at certain points, she'd always say, oh, well, they don't need that, oh, don't give them that, oh, don't ask for that, you don't need that. So it's just like, now when I don't need anything, but people want to help, and I'm just like, nah, you don't need to do that. And that's me unlearning some of the just some of the things that I would like that was instilled basically in me growing up. So it's just like, now you need stuff and you don't want to ask, or now you do need help and you're just too afraid to ask, or you don't want to inconvenience anybody. That is literally me. So this year I know I'm going to have to need help, or I'm going to need help with the baby. So I need to accept help from others. I almost didn't want like a big baby shower, but I know my people are going to invite whoever they want to invite, because I was like, I don't know about registries. I don't know about gifts, because I don't like taking gifts from people that I don't see or that's not going to be in the baby's life. But allow help from others, Sierra. Allow yourself to receive. So that is the third and final year goal, in personal development and motherhood. The second category is financial and lifestyle. Okay, so if you don't know, I did take on a debt consolidation loan. So I want to have at least half of that paid off. Okay, that's not something that everybody can do. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but that is a goal of mine, to have at least half of it paid off by the end of the year, now that I'm caught up on my student loans and everything, which I really wish was already caught up, but we can't go and change the past. We can only see where we are now and how we want to move forward. So I want to pay off half of my debt consolidation loan. I want to save $2,000. I want to keep my credit cards between 10 and 15% of utilization. That is a big one to me, because my cards have been all over the place, and right now they are kind of up there. So I definitely want to pay that down and keep it within that 10 to 15 utilization range to not only help my credit score, but to give me an opportunity at other things like maybe a line of credit personally so that I could get a fence in without having to put all that money up front because fence is $5,000 to $7,000. I'm just like, good Lord, maybe to go ahead and get my back porch screened in. All of that is like $3,000 and that it's not even for labor. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm kind of like missing out on or not able to do because of my credit score and where things are now. So it's just working to get that paid down so that I have more opportunity to do other things. Yes, it may be more debt, but if you're managing your debt correctly, you can pay it off. Um so yeah, keep credit scores below 10 to 15% of utilization. Always look put together. I love this because when you always look put together or you put the time and effort to always look put together, I feel like you always feel good. Like I've always told you guys this in previous episodes. When I look good and I feel good, I feel how I look. So if I put the extra time, if I put the extra energy, if I put the extra effort into doing my eyebrows, doing my mascara, maybe just a lip combo, it doesn't always have to be makeup. Like obviously I have on makeup today because I don't know. I don't know why I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm going to do my makeup before I go to my wax appointment. That was the only thing I did today. Go to my wax appointment. I came straight back home. But I want to make sure that I'm also creating content. I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to make sure I'm getting my makeup look good because I don't know. That's just a thing for me. I don't always want to look cakey. And I feel like there's been times where my face has been cakey. And for the past 2 days, I went to go get my nails done yesterday. At the time that I'm recording this, I went to go get my nails done yesterday. And when I got there, my nail tech, she was like, oh my gosh, Sierra, you just look so good. She said, oh my goodness, makeup. And I was like, yeah, I just want to do a little something, even though I wasn't doing much today. And she was like, well, I just want to say that I just hate when it looks like girls just came from the bakery. And my Lord, I was blown away because that did used to be me. But if you just take that one instant and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know how to do my makeup. This is how it came out. Like I've came out cakey. Like I just walked out of, a powder shop. And it's just like that was just so unmotivating. And I have it on my TikTok, and there was times where I almost didn't post something because I'm like, I look too cakey on here. But you live and you learn. And I go through my own videos on TikTok and I'm like, ooh, how did I do this look? How do I achieve, not such a cakey look? Because there have been times I posted cakey. There has been times that I haven't posted cakey. So I am just trying to learn from my own experiences and move forward. But nonetheless, always look put together. I don't always have to do my makeup. Now, if I'm putting together with, just my eyes, I think I've shown you guys my eye brow tutorial where, I've just been on the platform. I just do my eyes real quick, my eyebrows, mascara, lip liner, gloss. That's all I need. Maybe a little pH balance blush and it turns like a shade of pink based on your pH balance. That is all I mean by, for me, looking a little bit more put together. But not only that, I need routine and I need to up my wardrobe. I feel so, I'm not going to say insecure, but I just feel so down when I don't know what to wear, or the only thing that I have to wear is like some jogging pants or some sweatpants or some leggings and like a graphic tee, or not even a tee. I'm always just in a hoodie or something like that. I want to expand my wardrobe because it's boring to only have that stuff in your closet when sometimes you just want to, look a little bit more up kept, right? So maybe like sweaters or looking for a specific season and shopping for the season ahead of that season. That way, when you get to that season, you already got stuff to wear, right? So I definitely want to get up on that, on my wardrobe. And then when I say routine, is installing routines that make you feel better and make you look good and get you in and out, all right, because sometimes you just don't know what to do. But I have a skincare routine because one, in the morning, that makes me feel put together. It makes me feel like I'm giving a little bit of some time and self-care to myself first thing in the morning. But not only morning, I need a night routine. So I've started to like kind of put some things together for my night routine. When I get out of the shower, lotioning all the way down because I am so lazy, okay, when it comes to lotioning. But my skin, this face is the first thing people gonna see. Not everybody see what's underneath these clothes. But I do need to keep my skin moisturized. I do need to keep my feet moisturized so they don't crack. I do have a belly routine, right, to help prevent stretch marks, but also just to connect with my baby so that she knows that I'm here rubbing on her and even nurturing her before she gets here, right? So just routines like that, okay? What routines can you put in place that not only make you look good but make you feel good as well? And then also, when I say routines, I don't like rushing anymore. Rushing is so stressful. So what routines can I establish, install, to make sure I'm not rushing, right? To make sure I'm not stressed when it comes to getting ready. And that may look like waking up earlier or starting getting ready earlier if I know I have to do a lot of things to prep, right? So just stuff like that when it comes to routine. So all of that was under financial and lifestyle. Number three category was career slash business. You guys, I told you all in the last episode of 2025 that I want to start a business. That business is going to be life coaching. I feel like I basically already do it every week on my podcast platform. So why not turn that into something that is hopefully going to be my everyday business, everyday job, and it's something that I enjoy doing. Like I literally had low energy before I even started this episode, and I already have like a little bit more energy because I'm doing something that I like. I'm doing something that I love, and when you love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life, okay? So, for career and business, I'm thinking about I may need to change like turn this podcast into an LLC, so maybe, registering that with the state. Life coaching, getting certifications for life coaching. I know they say that you don't have to have certifications, but I want to make sure that I'm doing everything right, everything sound, because I don't know how to do this. This is going to be my first time kind of stepping out there on my own. So I want to make sure I have the backing of a certification to know that, oh, hey, like she did do a little bit of her due diligence. I can trust her because she has these type of certifications. If somebody feels obligated to look into the type of certification that I have. And she took the time to get extra knowledge and experience in whatever she's trying to go into instead of just stepping out there and trying to, feed everybody blasphemy. But with life coaching, it's obviously going to be based on things that I've made it through, which I did like, because what I did have to learn, because I was so stuck on counseling or therapy, and I don't want to go back to school. I don't. I really don't. If I have to, I will, but I really don't want to. But I was thinking about counseling or therapy, becoming a therapist, and I was like, that sounds like kind of like what I do, but I don't want to go back to school for that. That's a whole nother, maybe like 4 to 6 years. And so when I looked it up, when I started like researching, the difference between counseling and coaching is trying to understand your past and how you made it to this point and trying to overcome that, whereas coaching is taking you from wherever you are and trying to get you to wherever you're trying to get to next or trying to be next, right? So if I have people that I'm coaching that have been in similar situations that I have been in the past, I have already made it through it. So let me guide you, let me help you get to the next stage in life where you could be like me, finding your confidence, not really worried about guys and being male centered and not having your confidence or not achieving this or still living under your parents' house. So trying to figure out a plan on how to move out on your own. Those are like some of the things that I would like to be a life coach about. And how am I going to, one, recruit people, two, understand everybody, because everybody may not be for me. So how do I know or try to comprehend if this is a working relationship, right? Like I want to understand people's expectations of me as a life coach, and I want to have expectations of all of my clients. I am going to expect you to actively work towards what you say you want to work towards. And if you're not actively doing that, if you're making excuses, that is the number one thing I hate, is excuses. Don't find excuses as to why you didn't achieve or why you're not working towards something. What are you actively doing to continuously work towards something if you didn't achieve the overall goal? I can accept somebody that is still working through certain motions to get to a goal rather than somebody that said that want to work towards a goal and didn't even start, have not taken the steps to start. So if you're going to waste your time and your money, that's fine, but I am not going to waste my time or take your money because I want you to get out of whatever you're paying in. Okay, so I think that the number one thing for me, regardless of what stage I am in this life coaching, is if I do not actively see progress and it's constant excuse after excuse after excuse, and you're not getting there, and you always have an excuse as to why you're not getting there, I'm going to have to cut it because I have an expectation of you. And as a life coach, I want you to make it here. I don't want you to be paying for something that you're not actively using and applying towards your life. So if you're not actively applying it, you are not serious about taking this life coaching session seriously. So I'm going to cut the relationship because it's not doing either one of us any good. So I think that is going to be one of the biggest things for me. And I like that about myself because I don't like wasting my breath, okay? I have wasted my breath on so many people that it's just so annoying. Like, you continuously come to me for advice. You continuously want to tell me, the drama. But when I give you advice, or if I'm just sitting there and listening and you then ask for my advice, but I don't want to give it to you because I know you're not going to listen or apply it, what is the point? I'm just going to sit here and just let you rant because obviously you just need a crowd. Obviously, you just need an audience to hear the drama. So if you need me to be an audience, I'd rather you go to a therapist, okay? I don't want to sit here and be an audience. I want to sit here and help you achieve things in life because that is what's going to grow your confidence. That is what's going to fuel the fire underneath you to continue to strive for better. And I've always liked personal development within people. So I feel like that is something that I am called to do. And I don't think I would have understood that or came to this decision if I didn't start the podcast. So I'm so happy about, all of the things that the podcast has brought me and all of the new ideas it has sprung in my head. But yeah, you have to actively work towards something if I'm going to be your life coach, and you have to actively get better and progress in life. We're all going to have setback moments, but how do you get up and get back to where you were? All right. So, and if you're not doing it, sayonara. I don't like wasting my voice, and I'm not here just to be your audience. But okay, so Create Podcast LLC, that has a question mark on it because I don't know if that's something that I need to do. I might. Because I may use that as an outlet to my coaching to see, like, okay, you can listen to my podcast for free. It has life advice on it. Or you can subscribe or do any type of thing as a client to my life coach business. And then you get some type of, different access to me and different type of advice and stuff like that, or just one-on-one. And then I need to plan for my 9 to 5. What am I going to do? Am I going to stay there forever? Do I think? Am I going to switch career paths? What am I going to do? So those 3 things are under business and career. The last category is content creation. Okay, I have slacked since starting the whole moving process after finding out I was pregnant. So, guess what? Consistency is number one on that list. All right, grow my audience, promote life coaching business when ready, and then branding for life coaching business. So, those are all the categories. Those are the different things I want to accomplish in each category by the end of the year. And so we've done the categories. We've done, each goal we want to accomplish by the end of the year in each category. So now is the projection. And like I said, you do not have to write everything down. You do not have to have as much as me. Just figure out what you want to accomplish, what categories you want to focus on in 2026, and start there. But if you don't start at all, you don't know where to start. So you got to start by writing stuff down. So I don't really know if I like the projection completion dates tab, but that is something that was in her video. So I did want to incorporate that to see if it works first. And then if it doesn't work, I'm going to change some stuff around. So this is my first time, trial and error, just seeing what works. And then if it doesn't, go on with the flow, see what does. Now, projection dates are like the dates or the quarter that you want to accomplish each goal in, right? So, or each category. And so different things may be completed in different quarters. Is completely up to you. That's how I'm doing it. I'm not picking like, oh, I want to accomplish this entire category in Q3 or in Q4. And so 4 quarters of the year, there's 12 months in a year. So if you have $1, split it off into four. That's 3 months a quarter. So you got January through March and then so on and so forth. I was not about to try to do that math. Okay, and counting, because then I'm counting, oh, January, no. Every 3 months is a quarter. So January through March is 1 quarter. April through June, 2nd quarter, so on and so forth. Okay, so in Q1, or no, never mind, projection dates, completion dates. So I did say for personal development and motherhood, since I do have so many in each category, they're kind of all over the place. I put multiple quarters because maybe I want to work on some in Q1, maybe I want to work on some in Q2. Maybe I don't think this is going to be completed until Q4, but there are things that I want to work towards that thing in Q1, 2, and 3 to lead to that completion in Q4, right? So obviously all of these I want to have done by quarter 4, but is there a time frame that I can say, okay, maybe I can move this completion date up, right? So personal development and motherhood, I want to accomplish that within quarter 1 and quarter 2. Even though motherhood is going to be forever and on, like forever and always a goal for me, because I always want to work on my motherhood because this is my first one, so I don't know how it's going to be. So I continuously want to improve, but just based on what I said, remember, establish clear boundaries and communicate them, prepare for motherhood, and accept help from others. So preparing for motherhood, and accepting help from others, establishing clear and cut boundaries. I want to complete that in Q1 and Q2, just because my baby comes in May. So I need to prepare for motherhood. I need to establish boundaries and communicate them. And I need to accept help from others all before my baby comes, even though that's going to be forever something that I need to work on. And that's anything that you write down. Some things are going to be a routine, a habit that you need to instill, that yes, you want to complete it, but you're always going to forever be working on it, right? Or you're forever going to take those skills that you've accomplished if you do complete that task and keep it, forward in in your new journey. So I'm going to complete all of those 3 things, the established boundaries, communicate them, prepare for motherhood, and accept help from others. I want to accomplish all of those before May. So that's quarter 1, semi quarter 2. Financial and lifestyle, I want to accomplish that Q1, Q2, and 4. So, like I said, paying off half of my consolidation debt loan. I think it's at like 4K right now. Paying half of that off, it's not going to be completed in Q1 or Q2, right? So I want to have that at least computed by Q4. Save 2K. I want to actively work up towards that, but I want to have it completed by Q4. If any of this stuff happens before, amazing, amazing, amazing. Keep credit cards between 10 and 15%. Q4 as a completion date, but we need to actively work towards that throughout the year. Always look put together. I want to complete that. I want to complete a routine that always makes me look put together in Q1, and if I need to push it in Q2, Q2. Establish routines and wardrobe. I know wardrobe I won't complete in Q1, but what am I actively going to do in Q1 that's going to help me prepare to accomplish that in Q2 or Q3, whatever, right? Career and business. I want to start in Q1. Some of this stuff I can start and complete in Q1 probably, but some of this stuff I may not be able to start right then and there or complete right then and there. I can start the research, I can start the groundwork, but the completion date may not be in Q1. So if it's not in Q1, I want it to be in Q4. By the end of the year, I want to accomplish this stuff. And then content creation. I said Q1, 3, and 4. So I want to establish, consistency in Q1. I want to start growing my audience by tailoring I don't want to tailor my content towards anybody. I want to put authentic content out, and whoever gravitate towards me and resonates with me follows, that is what I want. I don't want stuff just based on, oh, I'm just only going to target this community. No, I want different people to feel like they can resonate with what I'm saying in my message, and I want them to follow me. So, based on the stuff that I post, anything that I do post, because I'm not niching myself, which is putting myself in a box, I'm not only creating makeup content, I'm not only creating cleaning content, right? So, not niching myself will help me, I feel like, grow my audience, because if you're watching me, if you're following me, you're going to get different parts of me, and you may like a different part of me than only one part that I'm actually showing. So that's why I've refused to ever niche myself. But another reason why I said Q4 for that one was because promoting life coaching business when ready, branding for life coaching business, I want to work up towards that. But if it's not ready, I'm not going to promote it. By the end of the year, I want to be able to promote something for 2027 to start taking clients, because my biggest thing is taking this year to kind of prepare, lay the foundation, and then in 2027, if not sooner, it can happen sooner, but if not, I want it to be in 2027 that I actively start taking clients and making money from it. So yeah, those are my projection completion dates for each category. And then we step into our Q1 goals. I have a couple more things and I'll kind of run through it. So now we're looking at all of the yearly goals that we put in each category and trying to figure out what do we want to focus on in Q1. Okay, so that's January, February, and March. So now that we have those broad, goals, everything that I talked about, each goal for each category, now that we have those broad goals, now we need to shrink it in a little bit. Okay. So we need to think about what do we want to focus on that's going to actively help us get to that broad goal by the end of the year. All right. So in Q1, I want to focus on coming up with my birth plan. I really wanted the doctor that delivered me and all of my mom's kids to deliver my baby. But at the time that I started my prenatal care, I was with a different hospital, let so be it. And she was with a different hospital. So wasn't gonna work then. But now I had to pick a different doctor because I moved. So she said that she'll be my doula. So I need to reach out to her because with her job as being my doula, she's going to help me come up with a birth plan. I don't know what the birth plan is, but what I can do to kind of help myself understand before I speak with her is research what a birth plan is, maybe have ChatGPT spit some examples out to me and see what I kind of want to have stick, with mine. Excuse me. So Q1 goals to help me get to those larger scale goals. Come up with a birth plan. Research how to prepare to give unmedicated birth because I really don't want to take an epidural. I don't want to take any medicine if I don't have to. And then let me see. There's a lot of stuff out here on social media like exercises to help push the or prepare the body to push a baby out, because if you don't, you could tear and all of this and all of that. So I want to research. I want to start to research how to prepare, how to give unmedicated birth. Establish boundaries for when the baby comes home. So like I said, that's going to happen in Q1 because I want it to be in place before the baby comes. That way nobody's like, oh, well, what about this? What about that? No, I've already set these up. It's not because I'm being, paranoid or anything like that. I thought about it and these are my rules. Establish a routine to not rush and always look put together. So like I said, routines. Are you doing a little bit? Are you only brushing your teeth, washing your face, and cleaning the inside of your ears and then going to do whatever you do? Is that what you do every day? Or do I want to start to establish a routine in the morning that one, not like that waking up, a little bit sooner, if that may be, the instance in your case, which it is in mine. I wake up at the very last second since I work from home. I wake up at the very last second and then I log in for work. So, what am I going to do to make myself always look put together, and what type of routines am I going to put together to help me achieve not rushing and always looking put together. And some of that may happen at night. Do you have a night routine that kind of sets you up for in the morning? That may look like, setting out your clothes for the next morning if you're going into the office, kind of putting everything together that you already know you're going to need to take with you when leaving the house. Maybe going ahead and setting up your car or packing your lunch the night before. That way in the morning you could just grab and go, right? So routines, anything can be a routine. Um, I want to research different wardrobe styles. I think the main reason, like, I remember when I was like fresh out of high school, in college, I used to love the outfits that I would like find and wear. But obviously, my body type has changed, my aesthetic has changed, what I like has changed. And so I need to figure out what other wardrobe styles are out there and what do I like, and try to not mimic but kind of tailor it to that wardrobe style that I see that I like. So I need to research different wardrobe styles, and I feel like the reason I haven't really bought anything is because I don't know what I like. So I need to find what I like in order to work towards that goal of fixing my wardrobe. I got to figure out what I like first. Start researching certifications for life coaching. Like I said, it is not legally required to have a certification for life coaching, but I do want to build my credentials, and differentiate myself from others that may be in the industry, and make sure I have my certifications, make sure I have a little bit of my ducks in a row so that I know that I feel comfortable and I feel confident to take on clients and make sure that they trust me. What are your credentials, Sierra? Well, I've been through it, so I can coach other people through it. No, I have this certification, and I've been through it personally myself, right? So that's what I want to be able to say. Um, Posting 3 times a week, right? I said consistency. I did not have consistency. At first, I thought it was so important to post every single day at a specific time of day. Can you just please pick 3 days? Because I feel like I have so much going on, and you guys know this. I have so much going on that if I just pick and set a specific number of times and edit ahead and do all of this, if I set myself up for success, I have no reason to fail. So when I'm trying to rush everything, when I'm trying to squeeze a lot of stuff in at the last minute, stuff doesn't get done. As y'all seen in this in the last couple months of the podcast, I record, I either don't have the time to edit, and then everything's getting pushed back as far as like audio uploads and video uploads. I want to change that. I want to also make sure that I'm still posting consistently on TikTok, because when I found out I was pregnant, recording and everything stopped because I started looking for a house, getting married, doing all of these other things. So I'm going to get back to it. Posting 3 days a week. So whether that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm thinking I'm leaning towards Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And then record in advance for the podcast. Like I just told y'all, when I realized Tuesday was coming up, or that the day the day that I ended up recording was a Tuesday, I was like, "Oh, snap." I used to be so ahead of the game that I could go a week without recording if I wanted to, and I'd still be okay. So I want to get back to that recording in advance. It doesn't even have to be just a week in advance. I want to be able to record in advance, edit, post, or post, like schedule to post my podcast again. That way I can get back on schedule, and you guys can start trusting me again when it comes to audio uploads at 8 a.m. on Tuesday mornings, and then visual Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube. But if you're not being consistent, your audience don't know if they can trust you. Like, you're saying that these are when these times or things are posting, but they're not posting on those days or times. So how can I really like follow you? How can I really support you if what you're saying is not true? Right? So I need to get back into that consistency. So those are my Q1 goals that I'm going to work towards, and the things that I'm going to actively do within those first 3 months to achieve those yearly goals that I had in those categories at the very beginning, right? We're taking the big yearly goals and minimizing them into what we can do to actively work towards it. Now we're going to go into weekly non-negotiables. So these are the things that you're going to do every week to make sure you are reaching those Q1 goals that ultimately help you reach the big yearly goals that you said you wanted to reach within each of those categories. So I know I have a lot, but like I said, you do not have to have as much as me. I just feel like this is manageable for myself. So if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed, if I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed with this stuff that I'm writing down, because weekly is a commitment. You know, sometimes you think about a goal and you're like, oh, I have 5 months to do this. No, this is stuff that I'm doing every week. That's a non negotiable that I must do. And that I'm going to go off and check every week. And if I didn't accomplish something in, a specific week, okay, why did I not accomplish it? What do I need to do to work towards it? And what do I need to do to make it work? And if it's not working, what else can I flip that out with? Okay. So if I do get overwhelmed, I'll change it. I'll minimize it. I'll save some stuff for one week and I'll save something for something else. So I want to reach out to the individual that says she'll be my doula about a birth plan and expectations. All right. That'll help me come up with a birth plan. That's one thing checked off already. That's helping me get closer to be reaching the goal of preparing for motherhood. Ask doctor about lactation courses or classes and pumping classes. I feel different. I don't feel indifferent. I know that I don't want to physically nipple and mouth breastfeed. I want to pump and then dispense in a bottle and feed my baby. And I don't know if it's just a comfort thing for me, but I just don't feel comfortable sticking my titty in a baby mouth. I don't. And I'm really uncomfortable when other mothers, which is perfectly fine, I can have my opinion. I am very uncomfortable when other mothers record themselves putting their nipple in their baby's mouths or when their baby is suckling and posting it on social media. It is just so mind boggling to me. I'm just like, we scream privacy, we scream all these different things, and then you have your nipple in your baby's mouth on social media for millions to see, regardless if you take it down. I told y'all before, whatever you put out on the internet, it expect somebody to have it. Okay, you can delete it all you want to, but somebody already screen recorded, screenshot it, saved it, sent it to somebody else, and so on and so forth. So to me, that, I don't know, I'm not saying that I have to do that in order to breastfeed, but I just don't feel comfortable putting nipple in mouth for a baby. So I want to at least get the education from a lactation course or from a lactation doctor when I'm at the hospital. But I also want to do a pumping class because that's what I'm more passionate about. And I'll have to pump anyway. Like, you're not always going to be glued to your baby. Your baby is not always going to be with you. They may be with dad and you're not there. They may be with grandparents or, great grandparents, or you may be at work and they're at home with parents. You're not always going to be there. So you're obviously going to end up having to learn how to pump as well. So I'd rather just learn how to pump, get it over and done with. And that's what I prefer to do instead of lactating. Establish time window for visitors. So, like I said, with preparing to be establishing boundaries, that's going to help me establish boundaries. Okay, because not only can I say, okay, this is the time frame that I will allow visitors, unless you're my mom, my dad, my sister, maybe not even my sisters, because sometimes they overwhelm me, but my mom for sure, helpful, or maybe even my grandmother, but I don't know. I'm going to have to either come up with a list or something of people that I can tolerate when I cannot tolerate people. If you get it, it makes sense to those that I need to make sense to. Okay. So that'll help me establish clear boundaries and I will be able to communicate them. Because if you show up at my house and it's at a time that I did not say that I allow visitors at this time, you will no longer be able to see the baby. Okay. Point blank. Like I said, wake up early for work and morning routine, because like I said, when I'm waking up at the last minute, I'm rushing my skincare routine to log in on time. So if I'm waking up earlier, that's helping me establish yet another routine, because now I'm adding waking up sooner, okay, to be able to, one, not rush. That'll help me not rush. And through two, three, whatever I just said, it'll help me always look put together. So that was one of my goals. Waking up early may help that. Or if it doesn't help me reach that goal, okay, what other things can I implement? Or maybe I need to wake up early and do this at the same time, right? To help me achieve that goal. Establish a night routine. Like I said, are there certain things that you can do before you go to bed to help you and help, propel you into your next day that you can do at night? It may be, it may not. But if you don't try, you wouldn't know. Put together a lookbook for wardrobe styles that I like. So after researching, I need to figure out, okay, what pieces would I put together to make this wardrobe look right to me and that I like. So put the lookbook together before you purchase stuff. I like to purchase things in outfits and also to see, okay, is it versatile? Can I wear a certain piece with a different outfit? Because if you're just buying stuff outfit by outfit and they don't coincide together, you're going to always be wearing that one outfit for one specific occasion and you may not be able to switch it up. So I want to be able to put together a lookbook before I start purchasing. So that's why I say, maybe lifestyle as far as like wardrobe, maybe a later quarter, because obviously I have to do the research first, then I have to purchase it, then I can say, okay, I was able to find my wardrobe, I do like it on me, because some things can look nice on other people online and then on you it looks like that don't fit you, baby. So finding all of that, but I do want it done by the end of the year, so I know exactly what style I'm always gonna reach for. And then your wardrobe can change, things can change, what you like can change. So my wardrobe may be different when I have my baby here. Maybe I look like a grandma, maybe I look like a mom. I don't know. Okay, it's up to me. It is up to me. um Research certifications I want to acquire. So, like I said, even though I know it's not legally required to have a certification for life coaching, I want to have whatever number of certifications I want to make me feel comfortable going into this new career field for myself. Put together vision, mission statement, and this is for the life coaching. This will help me reach that end goal of helping myself promote, because if I don't have a vision statement, if I don't have a mission statement, people don't know what I stand for and what I'm reaching towards and what I'm going to stand by through the duration of my business. Write down topics that I'll cover in life coaching. Time back to life coaching. Record, edit, and post videos for the following week. If I'm prepping myself the week before, I have more than enough time to make sure stuff is scheduled and make sure stuff posts on a specific day. Now, the one thing that I do hate about TikTok is it doesn't allow you to schedule things to post. Instagram, I do love because it allows me to schedule the post, schedule the reel or whatever. And then when the day and time comes, it's out there. I don't have to, oh snap, let me go to, I forgot to do this today. Now it's 9 o'clock at night and nobody's going to see it. I mean, they may, because a lot of people get on the, phone at that time, but depending on the day and the time, they may not, right? Record at least a week in advance for the podcast. I already told you guys about that. I may do a break for, when I come home with baby. So be prepared, but I'm going to at least try to record well in advance so that I have episodes still coming out for you all. But we'll see. So those were all of the weekly non-negotiables for me. Like I said, it is long, but those are the things that I feel like I can, kind of cross off and work towards on a week-to-week basis. And then my daily top threes every day. I do want to work to the daily things, the top three things that I want to work on every day. That's going to help me get to these things is create morning/night routines. Okay. Exercise to prepare for birth. Edit videos for at least 15 to 30 minutes a day. Now, to me, that helps me achieve a lot of these things. A lot of these things I don't need a week to do. A lot of these things I don't need to do every single day, right? But those things right there, those three things, I know I need to work on every day to establish one routine, two discipline, even if I don't want to do it. And then three, making sure I'm preparing myself for the future. So that exercise to prepare for birth, if I'm preparing for motherhood, if I'm preparing to do, unmedicated birth, there's something I need to be doing every day to help my body realize and stretch and all of this other stuff, that we're about to give a birth to a baby. So I need you to work with me, and I'm going to work you out so that you can work with me when I'm in that hospital bed pushing. And then if I am setting up the time every day or allocating time every day, I don't have to finish a video in 15 to 30 minutes, but as long as I'm setting aside time to work on a video every 15 to 30 minutes every day, at least I'm working towards editing, because that's the longest part for almost any of my videos, is to edit. And then as soon as I'm done editing, it's just, about the posting. And then the final thing that you want to do for all your goals is do weekly reviews at the end of every week. All right. What did I not, what, well, wait, what I don't complete, I will move to the following week, but I want to keep myself accountable and be honest. That is the biggest thing. And that is going to be one of the main things that I am as a coach, is holding you accountable and keeping you honest. All right. Don't always look at, oh, well, I did, I kind of did that. Did you really, or didn't you? Because it's a yes or a no. There's no in betweens. It's either yes, you accomplished this. No, you didn't accomplish this. If you did not accomplish it, what did you do within that week that did not help you reach that accomplishment, right? Help you reach that goal. So what I don't complete, I'm moving to the next week. I'm going to hold myself accountable and be honest. And if I can't hold myself accountable and be honest within myself, I can't expect that out of my clients. How far did I get in my weekly goals, right? So did I get to a certain point in accomplishing a goal, and then did I fall short? Was it because of time? Was it due to me having too many things I wanted to accomplish in a week? What was it? What worked? What did I implement within that week that worked for me, and what didn't work, and why? And then decide the following week's goals. That is how we're going to tackle these these yearly goals, y'all. We got to take it step by step. What do we want to accomplish in this 12-month span? All right. What do we want to accomplish in each quarter of the year? And then what do we want to work on in each month to help us reach that goal towards the end of the year? All right. So that is today's episode. Like I said, I know it may be a lot, but this is truly what I think I can handle. And like I said, if I can't handle it, if it becomes too much, if it becomes too stressful based on what I have going on in my everyday life and everything else, then I will modify it. It is nothing wrong with modifying what you already set in place. At least you started somewhere and you were honest with yourself, like, okay, hey, this may be too much based on what I already have going on in my other commitments. I need to, kind of move this down. And that's perfectly fine. But are you going to continue to work towards it? That's all I want to know. Okay. So those were my goals for this year. Those are my action plans in Q1 so far. Y'all let me know how you guys want me to keep you all updated. Do you want to wait until the end of the quarter? Because like I said, last year we did at the end of every month what we accomplished and what we want to accomplish in the next month. So do y'all want to wait for me to update you guys at the end of the quarter and say, okay, all of this stuff I accomplished in Q1 and I was able to mark this off and this off and this off? Do y'all like that? Or do you want me to come by, I wouldn't say week by week, or do you want me to just keep the end of month accomplishment, track? Because I can do that, or I can do it, quarter by quarter. Up to y'all. But I really think this year is going to be a great year. I think the number one thing I'm excited about is obviously motherhood, my baby just getting here, and then two, life coaching, because I don't think I could have came to that conclusion, like I said, if I did not have this podcast. I don't think that would have been an avenue I would have thought about if I did not start this on the platform. I think I already do life coaching if you're here every week, if you listen to me every week, and I just think making it more solidified and more official and actually making money from it would help me reach my goals, because I don't want to work for somebody else forever. I want to work for myself and enjoy what I do and bring happiness and just clarity to other people's lives. And I think this will really help me do that, and it just feels like a full circle moment for me. So That's it, you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in, OGs, returning listeners, and new listeners. Hopefully, if you are a new listener, you found a home here and you like what I talk about. But yeah, you guys, I will see you all in the next episode. I love you all. Put together those quarterly plans. Like I said, you don't have to do a quarterly plan. You can do vision board, bingo board, prayer board, but I need you to be working towards something if you want to be here in my community, because you are not going to hear me talk about goals, accomplishments, and what we're working towards in my own shortcomings, right? I am transparent with my audience. So if there is something that I do not accomplish, y'all hear about it. If there is something that I fell short of or I've lost track and sight of completely, y'all are going to hear about it. If it's something that I no longer want to accomplish based on the season that I am in, y'all will hear about it. Okay. So if you want to stay in this community and actually feel like you are gaining something, I highly encourage you to put something together and think about what you want to accomplish in your life for 2026. All right. So with that being said, I am actually going to leave because Black people will say bye and we still at the kitchen counter talking. We still at the door talking. You supposed to be escorted out and you still here. Just like now. But anyway, you guys, I love you all and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to the Pretty Confident Podcast. Remember, confidence isn't about perfection, it's about embracing who you truly are. So until next time, stay bold, stay authentic, and stay pretty confident. Peace out.